Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. I'm DSP, and today is my final consecutive streaming day of the week, Wednesday, the 27th of December, 2023. As we are winding down to 2023 and the year is almost over, the problems persist. Basically, today I'm very late. Like, usually I would start my podcast around between, 11 and 11:10 a.m. Right now, it's 11:34. I've had nothing but technical issues in the last 24 hours. It's really annoying stuff that it happens every once in a while. I don't think it's anything lasting or big. It's just annoying. And quite honestly, it's nothing too huge. First of all, so yesterday, my new printer arrived. I've talked about this a few times over the course of the last week or so. My printer died. And I've had a printer since 2017. And it's very basic. It was just like a flatbed scanner with quick, inkjet printer. Wasn't meant to do anything crazy, but I need it. Operating a business, I sometimes need to scan documents. So I sometimes need to print something out, a form, and fill it out and mail it and stuff like that. It just so happens that I deal with a couple businesses and entities that live in the past. They live in the Stone Age, and they require you to actually have physical printouts to pay bills and stuff, which makes no sense whatsoever, but it's just how it is with some companies. They lag way behind, okay? So I need a printer, and I had one since 2017. It finally died. It just would not print black at all. Even if I changed the print heads or cleaned the print heads, changed the ink, still wouldn't print. Obviously, the thing's dead. So I just ordered a quick one over a week ago off of Amazon, the fastest one. And it didn't show up till today. All the shipping with Christmas week and everything, it just kept getting delayed and wouldn't get delivered. And it finally showed up yesterday, and then yesterday I hooked this thing up, and it says, it works with Windows 7, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, compatible with every version of Windows in the last 20 years. Don't worry, it shouldn't be a big deal. And I'm like, well, that's good because my PC is old and has Windows 8.1. I can't upgrade it because there's so many old components in there from over a decade ago that likely they wouldn't work with Windows 10, so I'm not messing with that, but I just need very basic print capability, so let me just order some cheap one. And, yesterday, I came into my office almost, I would say, an hour before when I would normally start my gameplay stream for Like a Dragon Guiding, and I plugged the thing in, and coming to find out, it has no software whatsoever with it. Zero. No disk. No, nothing. Just go to this link. Okay? So I go to the link, and it says, all right, so did you plug your printer in? Yeah, it's plugged in via USB. All right, click this link. And it downloads files, but all it downloads is drivers, right? It doesn't download any software that you can use to use the printer. It just downloads drivers. And it says, all right, so the drivers are installed. Click here to print a test page. Okay, I click test page. Oh, sorry, printer is busy. Can't print. It's busy doing what? I look down at the printer. It's not busy. It's just sitting there. And it's funny because this printer it has buttons. You could actually do all the things you want to do with the printer through the printer itself rather than through software. So let's just see if I could scan a page. I go to flatbed scanner. I put a thing down, scan, beep, 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 doesn't do anything. I'm like, scan, beep, 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 does nothing. Huh? So what the hell's going on? I don't know. So basically, I spent an hour trying to get this thing to work before my stream yesterday, and wouldn't work. So I started my stream late last night, okay, apologizing to everyone. Sorry, I was trying to get this printer working. You know, it wouldn't work at all. After my late night stream last night, I restarted my computer, okay, and I went back in, and I tried to print again, and it worked. So it needed a restart, but it didn't say it needed a restart. So the print works. But the scan, I can't figure out how do I scan, right? So I start searching my computer and come to find out, like in Device Manager of Windows 8, you could see your printer, and if you click on it and you right click on it, it'll say like scan. So I go to use the scanner, but the scanner is the weirdest scanner I've ever seen in my life. It's a flatbed scanner. So I say, okay, let's scan. And it'll like scan, but it like auto detects segments of the sheet you're scanning, and it separates them into different files. I was like, what the fuck is this? Why is it doing that? I just want one file scan. Just scan the sheet of paper. No, this quadrant is file 1. This quadrant is file 2. This quadrant is file 3. I said, what the fuck is going on? This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, right? So then I was like, well, what about if I just use the printer itself? What if I don't even try to use any interface with Windows? So the printer says flatbed scanner, and again I hit scan. This time it works, and it scans it to my computer as one of those PNG files, and it looks great. So I'm like, all right, so I can basic print, that works, and I can either select color or black and white, and I can scan. That's literally all I need it for, right? But you would think that should have been like you plug it in, it loads in a couple minutes, it works. No, this thing needed an hour of me trying to figure out where all the shit was, restarting the computer and all of that. It's a mess. What's funny is they do have a program that you can download that basically makes all this easier. It's called their Scan and Print Suite program, right? Oh, cool. Can I get it? No, it only works with Windows 10. So they sell a printer that says compatible with 7, 8, and 10, but the actual ease of use software for it only works with 10. So there you go. So anyway, that was my night last night. That was my technical difficulty. So after my stream was done, I queued up all my videos to upload as usual. All right. And everything looks normal. Usually what I do is when I finish my late stream, I queue up my videos to upload for that stream. I do my schedule, and that's it. And I spend the rest of the night, with my wife and go to sleep. And usually I wake up in the morning and everything's fine, right? No problems. I wake up this morning and I got multiple messages from people. Are you aware that only one of your 2 Like a Dragon Gaiden videos uploaded? The other one says it's there, but it's not. It's in the playlist, but it's not viewable. I'm like, oh, come on. After all that problem I just had last night with the stupid printer, I don't need more technical difficulties, right? So this morning I come in here, and I'm trying to figure this out. It shows that the file uploaded to 55% and just stopped. But the internet didn't go out, because you can see all the pages are loaded. It's not like the internet stopped working. It just decided to just stop uploading at 55%, and it's just sitting there. Okay? So I'm like, so what can I do? Let me try to resume the upload. I try to resume the upload. It just sits there. It won't upload. I'm like, so is there something wrong with my uploads? So I go to speed test. I run a speed test. My upload's fine. It's fast. It's not my internet. There's something going on with YouTube. I attempt to upload another file. That won't upload either. And I said, well, that's not good, because if I can't upload, I definitely can't stream. So what the hell is going on? So I sat here for about a half an hour this morning trying to figure this out. Behind the scenes, I'm messing around. Can I try this? Can I try that? I honestly wish I could tell you what actually fixed it. But I think there was something wrong with the browser window and its connection to YouTube. Because what I did is I basically closed everything, and then I started fresh. I reopened the browser. I reopened this morning's stream. I reopened, and then I went and I said, let me try to upload a video again, and then it started working. So is it true? Is it a way that if you're uploading to YouTube, that you could get a dead connection on a connection, and you actually have to force a fresh new connection through a new browser window to get it to work again? I have never experienced that once in my life. I've been a YouTuber for over 15 years. I've never seen that happen before, but Never fails to amaze me, the nonsense that happens when you're a YouTuber. So, finally it was working. So, basically, for those who, yes, Darziak. Darziak says, with this on Chrome, I had the same problem a few days ago. Yes, I was using Chrome. So, maybe there's some weird thing, some issue with Chrome now, where uploads can screw up, and then you have to, like, completely close everything and refresh everything for it to work. But the good news is, it's working now, but I didn't have a chance to upload Like a Dragon Gaiden Part 27. I got to, like, 10%. I was like, I gotta get my stream going. My stream's, like, 20 minutes late now because of all this bullshit. So, just so you guys know, if you're enjoying the Like a Dragon Gaiden playthrough, it will continue later today. There is a missing part that will go live on the channel on demand. Apologies for that. Obviously not intended. It's, you know, more technical difficulties. Like, technical difficulties on top of technical difficulties making me late today. Okay? But I'm here. All right? And what I'd like to do, briefly, is outline how yesterday's streams went. I'd like to talk about ideas for the future, because yesterday we outlined some ideas for the content that I will do in January, and some people really seem to like it, and others have some other opinions. So I'd like to talk a little bit about that. Basically, we'll see. Let's see where the stream goes today. Only because I tend to say, let's do this, this, and this, and then sometimes it goes another way. Actually, I have no idea where my phone is right now. I just looked, I was like, do you see? I had so much going on, technical difficulties and everything this morning. I don't even know where my stuff is. Like, where's my phone? I always have it in front of me because I use it. I don't even see it. I've lost my phone. Well, if you guys could give me a second because I need it for the show, I'll be right back. All right. Crisis averted. Like I said, today's just, it's been a whirlwind day with all this stuff going on. Anyway, so, ladies and gentlemen, today is Wednesday, the 27th of December. Like I said, we are very fast approaching the end of this year, and we are fast approaching the end of multiple playthroughs here on DSP Gaming. Both my RoboCop Rogue City and Like a Dragon Gaiden playthroughs are in the end stages. I actually spoke with my wife last night after I got off my Like a Dragon stream, and I said, where I am in the story, how much is left? And she's like, well, basically, you've got one more segment of Chapter 4, and then you've got all of Chapter 5, and Chapter 5 is the end of the game, and it's maybe a couple of hours. She's like, so if you were to just do story, right, probably 3 hours and you would beat the game. But when I also was playing Like a Dragon last night, I unlocked the Four Kings optional arena boss fights. And there's like 3 or 4 of those coming, and those could be tough and might require some grinding. And I do want to do those because you get trophies and rewards for doing them, and it is part of the kind of main story of the game. So that's going to extend it a little longer. So the way I see it, 2 streams, maybe 3 tops, but probably 2 night streams would wrap up the Like a Dragon Gaiden playthrough. So within about a week or week and a half's time here, that playthrough will be completed, okay? As for RoboCop, basically 1 to 2 more major streams. I'm told there's 9 story missions left, but probably it's a little bit too much for 1 major stream, so maybe 2 more. So yeah, literally after next week, it looks like both playthroughs will wrap up. So that first full week of January, we'll be looking to start up some new games. Now, as for Baldur's Gate 3, yesterday we had started off in that phantom or phasm phasing spider cave, the cave with the spiders that teleport, and we had beaten them. But we hadn't looted, and I was looting, and I found a hole, and people were like, jump down it, so I did, and we ended up in a whole other dungeon. And it's like a giant area, and I explored for 3 hours doing multiple boss fights, finding tons of great loot and stuff. So we had a great time with that. But basically now, here's what's happened, okay? From what I'm to understand, with Baldur's Gate 3, this game, the way they've designed it, is that there is optional ways to do everything. No one really has the same experience playing the game because you could go this way, or you could go this way, or you could talk to this person and do this mission in this order. You could skip entire parts of content. You could actually kill off party members that are major party members, and they're not your party anymore. Like, there's all these different ways to do it. It really does give you almost unprecedented ways to play it, which is cool. It's cool to know that there's so many different ways. And what if you want to go back and play it 2 or 3 times, and every time you do it differently, right? That's pretty neat. But when you have a game like this, okay, what tends to happen is you might end up going off a way that isn't necessarily intended. And the last thing that I would want to do in Baldur's Gate 3 is end up missing out on major, important, interesting, critical story elements, right? So I have 3 hours yesterday. I'm in this new underground area. It's called the Underdark. And basically, by the time that I'm done with it, right, of course now people are watching the videos and they're leaving comments on these videos. And here's the comments that I'm getting. Wow, you totally sequence broke the game. Most people don't do that. They would keep going on the surface of the planet like you've done. Like, so they would go to the goblin camp, and that leads to more plot and a resolution of certain story elements. And then later on, like hours later, you actually get to a way to enter the Underdark from a different direction for the story. What you've essentially done is you've sequence broke the game by doing it that way, and you're going to areas that most people wouldn't go to now, and you're winning the fights. So it's cool that I'm winning them, because a lot of people have issue with the fights that I'm winning in the Underdark, but I'm getting through them. So it's as if it doesn't matter that I sequence broke. Okay? But I'm missing critical story. And what some people are saying in the comments of the videos is they're nervous because if I keep going in the Underdark, what may happen is I get too far, and this game tends to have this issue where if you get too far away from a critical story point, the game will say, oh, you abandoned a mission, and you'll fail. So, for example, right now, we have this whole Druids plotline going on. The Druids run this camp, what is it called? Emerald Grove or something like that. And we've got the Tieflings who are there, and the people who are kind of in charge right now of the Druids want them gone. We don't trust them, we want them out. Well, I'm supposed to be the go-between, where I'm either going to lead the Tieflings to a new place to live, or I'm going to somehow create peace between the two. And where the mission was leading us is that we were supposed to go to the Goblin camp, and by dealing with the goblins and either having a resolution there or whatever, that resolves that plot line, and that leads you on to another direction. Whether that's going to lead us to the Underdark or not, I don't know. Or if there's more plot in between, I have no clue. I've never played the game before, okay? So basically, that's what the game is kind of intending you to do. That's why all the mission markers have pushed us in that direction. But I kind of ignored it, all right? But what people are saying now is if I continue in the Underdark, like the Underdark, from what I'm to understand, can be 10 hours long. Yes, it's that long. We're about 3 hours into it. So you're talking there could be like another 7 hours, another 2 to 3 streams of me just exploring and fighting and doing content in the Underdark, okay? So if I do that, that's well and good. But a couple things may happen. Number one, if I get too far away from the Druids and the Tiefling thing, the game might actually say you failed the quest. Because what ends up happening is the game just decides for you, and because you took so long and you moved so far away from it. Obviously, I don't want that to happen. I would prefer to have a resolution to a story arc that I'm involved in, you know? Number two, from what some people are saying, and I don't know if this is true or not, if I continue with the Underdark, I'm going to continue to fight much harder fights than what would have been on the surface in that Goblin camp or further in. And basically because of that, I'm going to get better loot. I'm going to level up possibly. Like, I might hit level 5 before we're done with Underdark. And if I do, now I'm basically over-leveled for the other content that's on the surface that was expected that that's what I was going to do next. So now I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place. I don't know what to do. Like, I am enjoying Underdark. I think it's a neat. I like the environment. I like that we're running into these unique fights, right? We fought the Bullet or whatever it's called, and that was really cool. It, you know, it was a unique fight where we had to basically cripple it in order to hit it because it was going to run away. So I crippled it, and we're doing these special things. That was a neat fight, right? And I'm a little nervous now that if I keep doing the Underdark, which I'm okay with doing, I'm enjoying it, that it might screw other stuff up. At the same time, if we leave Underdark, right, we could, and I have a fast travel point down there, and we could just come back to it later, maybe after I've completed some stuff on the surface. So I really don't know what to do. Again, you guys know better than me. This game's been out since, what, August? So you guys would obviously know better than me, like, what is the viable option, what I should be doing. I might just leave it to you guys to decide. I might actually just do a poll. I don't know. Like, I'm okay with continuing in the Underdark, but I don't want to spoil. So, if I continue down there, fine. And this might be 2-3 more streams of that, right? But I don't want to accidentally skip content. I don't want to say, oh, so I went too far, and now we can't go back and do the other critical story elements that we were supposed to do, and we'll never even be involved in those. You know, that would kind of suck. That's interesting, because most RPGs don't have this option at all. Most RPGs, it's like you have to follow this narrative path in order to make progression in the game, and you're kind of almost locked into areas of the game until you do the narrative, and then other things will unlock, right? So I don't know. Let's see. When we boot it up, let's talk about it. Let's try to make the right decision together, all right, and go from there. I don't think there's a wrong decision as long as I don't miss content. I don't want to miss critical, interesting content of this game. Keep in mind, unlike other people who play this game, this is it for me. My one run in Baldur's Gate 3 is just that, my one run. Would I ever play Baldur's Gate 3 again? Maybe many years in the future. But I don't replay lengthy RPGs back to back. It's going to be a long time if I ever come back and step foot in this game again. So I want to get as much out of this as I possibly can. So I hope that you guys understand that. And that's what we're aiming toward. All right. So I hope that today's stream, we kind of figure out what we want to do together. We have that conversation, right? And we go from there. And hopefully we do the right choice, hopefully. You know, I know it goes the right way. I'm okay with doing whatever. If we leave Underdark, we can just go back. We have a fast travel now. And the enemies don't respawn, so it's not a big deal. If we want to leave and come back and go do the goblin stuff instead, I'm down for that. I guess let's see what happens, okay? There you go. All right. So today's streams, it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3. Today we decide what's next, okay? Tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it is Modern Warfare 3 multiplayer. And again, it's kind of like I'm reaching out to you guys for feedback on what you want to see. Now for multiple streams, we've done the Akimbo Renettis. And some matches, the Akimbo Renettis absolutely melt everyone. And other matches, not so much. Maybe tonight we want to switch it up again. Maybe I could go back to melee. Remember how crazy it was melee, insta-killing everyone around me? So maybe we just pick a zany melee weapon and try to use it. Maybe we go back to auto shoddy or something. Remember, I was going crazy with some of these builds. Maybe we go back to the silliness of that, maybe, perhaps. I think that would be pretty fun. But it's going to be multiplayer tonight. That Warzone stuff, I got very bored with it last time we played it. I don't feel like playing Warzone right now, so we'll do some multiplayer tonight on the late stream. I'm off from streaming tomorrow. All right. Once again, it's going to be an errand-filled day of me running around trying to catch up on all the errands and things that I need to do. But then when I come back on Friday, it is more Baldur's Gate 3 on the first stream, and his Friday Night Fights, Blanca and Street Fighter 6 again on the late stream. Okay? So, should be fun. I hope you'll join me for that. Saturday will be endgame content of RoboCop Rogue City. As now we're heading to the end. I don't know if one 3-hour stream is going to do it. From what people said, there's 9 story missions left and the possibility of a little bit of final side content. I don't think there's any way we're going to beat 9 missions plus side content in a 3-hour stream. We'll see, but if it needs 2 streams, that's fine, all right? And then the night stream on Saturday will be more Like a Dragon Gaiden. We're probably going to do the 4 Kings arena fights. That might take a while because if they're tough and we need to grind it out in other fights to level up my guys, we might have to do that. But I want to get those done, and then we get into the end of the story, so I'm predicting probably 2 more streams of Like a Dragon Gaiden. Sunday's React Day, DSP versus the Internet, the final React show of the entire year. If you're a member over on my sister channel, DSP React, be sure to nominate the clips you want to see me watch as the year-end show. I don't know if it could be more Christmas stuff, maybe some stuff about New Year's. Whatever. It could be a good variety of stuff this week. I'm excited to see what you come up with. Sunday night is a little bit up in the air. If it looks like we're about to beat RoboCop, then maybe we'll actually just do a RoboCop stream on Sunday night and finish the game. But if not, if it looks like we need at least another major stream or more, then maybe we'll just throw in like a Modern Warfare 3 late night stream or something like that. Monday will probably be more Baldur's Gate 3 and maybe Street Fighter. Tuesday, either RoboCop's conclusion or maybe we'll start something new. All right, and then Tuesday night, more Like a Dragon Gaiden, perhaps the conclusion. And then Wednesday, probably more Baldur's Gate 3, and then more Modern Warfare. That's kind of the schedule for the next week. So, new playthroughs potentially coming up, all right? We talked about this yesterday, and I'm feeling like I want to do something survival horror in January. We're going to have like 3+ weeks of open streams before Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Tekken 8 come out at the end of the month. And I think that the perfect kind of game for that time is survival horror. Why? Number one, because survival horror games are not that lengthy. Typically, you know, you can beat them between 10 to 20 hours, so it's not going to be something that, oh no, I got stuck in the middle of a playthrough and didn't get to finish it before the end of the month. If I'm playing it 2 or 3 times a week, 3-hour streams, I'm going to beat that by the end of the month. No big problems, right? That's number one. Number two, there really is nothing going on in the realm of survival horror right now. We played Alan Wake 2, and that was great. This other game, Alone in the Dark, was supposed to come out in October. Then it was supposed to come out in January, and now it's supposed to come out in March, but no one has any clue if that game's going to be any good. There's no Resident Evil scheduled for this year. There's really nothing of survival horror really scheduled for this year. So I feel like this would be an awesome opportunity to do something different for variety and have a fun playthrough in the month. Now, I suggested Resident Evil 0. Why? Number one, I've only played it once before, and it was over a decade ago. Well, around a decade ago. I want to say it was like 2014, 2015 was the original playthrough. And back then, I was not an interactive live streamer. I didn't have constant face cam. The quality was not as of what it is today. It was a very different time for me. It was the earlier days of streaming for me, and things were very different back then. That's number one. Number two, I barely remember the game at all. Like, I remember a train, and was it like a bunch of spiders or a snake or something? That's all I remember. I don't remember anything about this game at all. So, for me, it's going to feel probably like a real genuine first-time playthrough because for some reason, I recall Resident Evil Code Veronica X way more than I recall Resident Evil 0. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, you know, but it's definitely a thing. Now, I announced this yesterday, and some people seem to be all for it, gung-ho. Yes, this is excellent. I'm excited for Resident Evil 0 again because we haven't seen this in ages, right? Some people are like, well, I like the idea of survival horror, but I wish you would do something different. And one of the suggestions that someone came up with was, why don't you do Silent Hill? Because Silent Hill just seems to be a franchise that gets a lot of attention. Well, here's the thing. If you think about it, Silent Hill, I've played all 3 Silent Hill games multiple times. Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3, right? I've played, like Silent Hill 2, I played on the hardest difficulty and had to beat the final boss with a melee weapon because I didn't have any ammo. I've done it. I've done that game to death. And there's a remake of Silent Hill 2 coming out. Just earlier this year, I replayed Silent Hill 3. So that doesn't really make sense. You know, Silent Hill 1, it's not that great of a game, honestly. It certainly doesn't look anything like the other two, by the way. I don't really know. I haven't heard anyone clamoring for me to play Silent Hill 1. Plus, I don't know how I would play it because they don't have an HD version of it. Yeah, there's no HD version of Silent Hill 1 on like consoles that you could play. Silent Hill 2 and 3 you can get in that HD collection, but 1 isn't available, and I don't have anything to emulate a PS1. Okay, so basically, excuse me, I don't really have the availability to play Silent Hill 1. And the other problems are, the other Silent Hill games just aren't that good, and there's really no demand for them, right? Like, The Room I played once, it was a great playthrough. No one's asked me to go back and replay that. And other Silent Hill spin-off games, no one really asked me to go back and replay them. So, the funny part is about Resident Evil, there's a zillion Resident Evils, right? And a lot of them I've only played the once. I've only played Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil Code Veronica X only once and almost 10 years ago. Completely different kind of climate and atmosphere and gameplay of what I do today. So, that's why I was leaning towards like a classic Resident Evil for the month. You know, so there you go. Now, if you guys disagree and you can think of something else better when it comes to survival horror for the month, let me know. Right now, I still think Resident Evil 0 is probably the best option. But I obviously want to be doing something that you guys want. Keep in mind that Resident Evil 0 was nominated twice this year to be played Once it was for playthroughs earlier in the year, and I think it came in like 2nd or 3rd place in a poll. And then it was actually voted in to be played during the Halloween Marathon, which didn't happen. So twice it was going to be played this year and kind of didn't happen. So now it would finally be the good time to do it, I think, right? So there you go. Now I'm getting people in the chat saying, why aren't you just focusing on Baldur's Gate 3? Because I'm a variety streamer. Okay? I'm a variety streamer. I can't just sit here and play Baldur's Gate 3 all day, every day. If that happens, people will get turned off and go away. There's going to be people who right now don't like Baldur's Gate 3, but they're enjoying the fact that I'm playing either RoboCop or Like a Dragon or Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, I almost said, Modern Warfare. They like the variety, right? If every day the daytime stream is 3 hours of Baldur's Gate 3, and we're doing that 5 days a week, that's going to turn off a lot of viewers. They're going to go away. Okay? So I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that. Now, the other idea that I had, the game that will essentially replace Like a Dragon Gaiden in late night streams would be Sea of Stars, okay? Now, I'm excited for Sea of Stars for 2 reasons. Number one, it's the spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger. Everyone says this game plays like Chrono Trigger. I love Chrono Trigger, okay? Number two, it won Indie Game of the Year at the Game Awards, and tons of people have praised it. Even on my streams have come by and said, Phil, you've got to play this game. It's right up your alley. You're absolutely going to love it. And it's only between 20 and 30 hours long. Now, if I play Sea of Stars, all right, basically this is going to be a lot of night streams. What I'm thinking is we'll still do Street Fighter once or twice a week, but we'll probably do Sea of Stars 2 to 3 times a week, and then maybe we'll do Modern Warfare once a week, just for variety, okay? But it's going to be played a lot. It's going to be probably 6 to 8 hours a week of Sea of Stars, so that way we're making progress in the game. I don't want Sea of Stars to be a lingering playthrough that we still have 40 hours of by the time we get to the new release at the end of the month. You see? So basically, you're going to see Baldur's Gate 3 and Resident Evil 0 balanced as the daytime streams during the day. And then at night, you're going to see a lot of Sea of Stars with some Street Fighter and maybe every once in a while a little bit of Modern Warfare 3. And that would be the month. Okay? So if that sounds good, awesome. But I need your feedback. All right? I definitely need your feedback if you don't think this is good. If you think that this sucks or if you have better suggestions, I want to hear them, all right? The whole Silent Hill thing, I get it, but I've already replayed Silent Hill 2 and 3. Silent Hill 1 can't even be replayed right now. There's no modern version of it. And the other Silent Hills don't seem to have any, demand for, all right? So if you've got a better suggestion, please, all ears. I'd love to hear your suggestion of what you would like to see. JDTV says you should reverse it. Resident Evil should be a late night stream and Sea of Stars a daytime stream. I don't think Sea of Stars, I'm going to be honest with you. Maybe I'm wrong, and again, this is what I need feedback on. I see Sea of Stars is going to be the late night chill stream playthrough, just like Chrono Trigger was, just like a Dragon Gaiden was. I don't see Sea of Stars getting tons of attendance or support. I think that's going to be the game that is the oddball game that I balance with the other things that are getting attendance and support. Okay? Maybe I'm wrong, but if it plays like an old school RPG, I get a feeling it's going to be treated like an old school RPG in my content. You see what I mean? And old school RPGs don't get love in my streams or content, quite frankly. Okay? And the other good thing about this is, really, if I play Sea of Stars, that's the other game, the other big game of 2023 that I kind of missed. Right? I missed Baldur's Gate 3, but now I'm playing it and I'm understanding it. I missed Sea of Stars, but now I'm going to get to play it. So I'll actually know all the best games of last year, which is great because a lot of the times I missed them. And now it seems like I'll finally be able to kind of play them all, right? So that's what I'm thinking. But again, I would absolutely love your feedback if you think that there's something better that I can do. All right? Let me know. So there you go. Okay, so that's my idea. And by the way, if you're wondering, well, when are the year-end series going to start? The first full week of January. Okay? So not this week coming up, because that's half December, half January. But that first full week of January, night streams are going to end up being the year-end series. Excuse me, I had to burp. And what I mean by that is there's going to be Game of the Year awards, most disappointing games of the year countdown, and the new one, the Viewer's Choice Best Playthroughs of 2023. Please continue to nominate games for the Viewer's Choice by typing ! Best of 2023 into the chat. That brings up the link. Please nominate your favorite playthroughs of the year in there. This coming weekend, I'm going to tally up your nominations. We're going to make a poll. You're going to start voting on that poll for a few days, and that's going to determine the ranking of your favorite playthroughs of the year. It's probably going to be very different from my personal Game of the Year picks, because you probably liked various playthroughs that I'm not even thinking of, right? So there you go. So let's see what happens, and it should be fun. So this week coming up, full-time gaming, finishing up with RoboCop likely, and hopefully finishing up also with Like a Dragon Gaiden, 2 games finishing. And then likely that first week of January, Baldur's Gate 3 balanced with one of these new playthroughs, with the late night streams being the year-end series, and then eventually bring in the second new playthrough once the year-end series are done, and going from there. Okay? All right. Guys, normally this would be a longer podcast where I'd say, oh, we got this to talk about and this to talk about. But I was late. I was late to start today because of technical difficulties. So instead of drawing this out, what I'd like to do is basically do some shout-outs and see if anyone wants to talk about any particular topics or whatever, and kind of go from there. I don't really have anything particularly too important to talk about on today's show regardless. So let's do some shout-outs here, okay? And go from there. I don't think I have anything on the YouTube side so far, but once again, just so you guys know, I've been having technical difficulties with shout-outs too. So in the last week, I've had several people contact me during streams and saying, so I tipped you, but you didn't shout me out. And I'm like, huh? I'm sorry about that. I wonder what's going on. And then I would go check, and yeah, they've tipped me, but I never received a notification from PayPal to tell me that you tipped, so I don't shout it out. And then if I check my PayPal manually, lo and behold, there it is. And it's frustrating because I want to give credit to every person who contributes. I'm so grateful you guys give me my living. You allow me to do what I love for a job. I'm thankful for every single person who contributes to these streams, because this is my income. This is it. This down here, that's my main source of income right there during these streams. So I completely apologize that, sadly, I haven't shouted out everything that's come in. I don't know what's going on with that. And then last night when I was streaming, Like a Dragon, a few people did super chats and things, and none of them showed up in my queue. And then, no exaggeration, an hour later, a whole hour later, they showed up. And the pop-ups came. The people weren't even on the stream anymore. They had left. Like, wow, that sucks. You know, I can't control that. That's a whole third-party service that tracks that stuff. So, obviously, there was something between, what do they call it? The UI, or the feed that comes from YouTube was delayed going out to this third-party service, so it didn't catch it and play the animation in time. So, excuse me. Let's do shout-outs for what I actually have here. And if I miss anything, please, by all means, let me know. I want everyone to get credit. I really do. All right. So we start off today with a $5 tip overnight from Axel. This person says, you're a really good guy. I hope you get credit for this in the future. It's nice being able to chat to a content creator that's respecting his audience and doesn't view them as a number. No wonder you've had support for 15 years. You deserve it. And Jasper Kitty is very cute. Thanks, Phil. Now, I just want to let you know, this is not me writing these messages to myself. Okay? This is, people complimenting me. I guess they have a feeling that when they're on my streams, it feels different from other people, and that's good to know. So thank you, Axel, for the $5 tip that was overnight. I appreciate that. And then there's another $5 overnight tip. So basically, this person combined something personal with kind of a message to read, and I don't want to really involve the personal stuff. But here's what they say. They say, I want to put out a message to people that don't give Phil a fair shake. I believe if you ignore all the vitriol online and take DSP's content for what it is, you'll end up being pleasantly surprised. So give Phil at least a fair chance. He deserves it. Thanks for everything. You're welcome. I appreciate that. It's another $5 anonymous tip there. So a couple tips came in overnight. Actually, there's another one that came in overnight as well. As you know, I count those for the stream. I don't have to, but I do anyway because, you know, I'm so appreciative of you guys. I want everyone to get a fair shake and a shout out, okay? So there we go there. Excuse me. I received a $1 tip from Slayer. He says, I want to say I'm enjoying your Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough so much, I've started playing it myself recently. Cool. I'm glad to hear that, Slayer. If anyone is inspired by me playing Baldur's Gate 3 to play it, first of all, that's shocking to hear because I'm so late to the game. You know, the game came out in August and I'm playing it in December. But hey, if anyone's watching me play and now they're convinced to check it out, enjoy. I'm at a level 3 high elf druid. I have the ability to talk with animals by default. I'm at the druid hangout area after defeating goblins by the gate. By the way, did you receive an email I sent about Singaporean law video that you watched on your React show? I saw the email. I just haven't read it. I believe the email came in on Christmas Day. I was kind of busy. I haven't really had a chance to sit down and catch up with anything since Christmas. But I will get a chance eventually. I promise you when I get some time to myself. Who knows when that will be. But I will give it a look when I get a chance. Thank you, Slayer, for the $1 tip. I'm glad to hear that you have been inspired by the playthrough and you're enjoying the game yourself. Cool. Okay. I received a $15 tip from Baldzum. He says, Phil, I have been enjoying the streams and chilling with chat. Today's my birthday. I want to show some appreciation for the content and for the community. Well, Baldzum, happy birthday to you. I hope you're having a good day. I hope that you have some kind of a celebration there. I don't know if you have anything planned for yourself or not. Thanks for joining me on your birthday. That's cool to have you here. Hopefully you're here to enjoy Baldur's Gate 3. And I always say this to everyone because everyone says, so what should I do on my birthday? What do you recommend? Here's what I always recommend. On your birthday, as you get older, all right, when you become more of an adult and you get busy with life and other things going on, okay, sadly, your birthday just kind of becomes a normal day, right? For me, my birthday is almost always just a normal day. Like, I don't usually have much planned or anything planned. I'm a busy guy. I got a life going on. I got work going on. You know, you don't really have time to say, oh, it's my birthday. Let's have a party. Let's do this or that out of the ordinary, right? You don't. But what I will say is this. If you, and by the way, did my chair move? It looks like it did. It looks like it needs to move this way. Now it looks more centered, doesn't it? Now it looks like I moved it too far. Now it looks like it needs to move that way. That's what I get. That's centered. You can tell it's centered because, look, the buttons on my shirt go between the bar at the bottom. So that's centered. That's dead center. Okay. Let's try this again. Even if you get older and you get busy and your birthday ain't that much of a special day anymore, all right? On your birthday, you should take time, either if it's as small as 5 minutes of your day, take time to do something that you like to do on your birthday for just one moment. Or maybe it's a movie you like, you'll watch the movie. Maybe you have a drink, it's your favorite liquor or your favorite mixed drink. Eat something you enjoy, go do an activity, play a video game you really like, right? Do something physical you enjoy, play a sport or whatever it is. Take that one segment of the day, even if it's the most busy day ever, and do it. Because then you can at least say you did something that you enjoyed on your birthday. And that's what you can remember about it. Not all the other crap that was going on that may have brought you down. Maybe you had to work on your birthday, or you were at school on your birthday, or something frustrating that happened on your birthday. Just that way you can say, hey, at least I observed it and I celebrated it, and it's something to think about and remember from that day, rather than, my birthday hat came and went, I don't even remember it, right? So there you go. That's my recommendation, all right, as you get older. I always try to do that. Do one thing the day that you can remember. So, anyway, happy birthday to Baldzum. Hope you have a good one. And thank you for that very generous tip. Biggest tip of the day so far. I received a $5 tip from Dan the Man. Thank you very much to Dan the Man for a $5 tip. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. Was that a chopper? That was something loud flying over my house. It was a weird sound. I don't know what the hell it was. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Dan the Man. I received a $1 tip from JDTV. If I can give my 2 cents, I think Sea of Stars should be a daytime stream. My problem simply is I cannot attend late streams. It's nighttime by then where I live, and I got to work the next day. Watching it on demand for me isn't an option. I can't interact with you. Sea of Stars is a game I would love to watch live, and Resident Evil is a horror game, which in my opinion fits better for a nighttime stream. And also, when you stream Chrono Trigger, I couldn't be here exactly because it was a night stream, so no hate, buddy. I'm really wishing you would do Sea of Stars as a day stream. I hope you understand. I understand your feedback, but again, this is definitely, I will tell you this very honestly, one of my biggest disappointments as a content creator is that in 15 years, I have somehow not convinced my mainstream audience of how good JRPGs are. I don't know how I haven't done this yet, because I love the JRPG style. I've played so many JRPGs over the years, classics and new ones in between, okay? So many awesome franchises. Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, Suikoden, Blue Dragon, right? The Persona series, which I didn't even know existed until recently. Now the Like a Dragon series, which is now a turn-based awesome JRPG style game, right? That's just to name a few, it's just off the top of my head, okay? Well, some of the epic JRPGs that I've played over the years. But for me, every single time that I play one of them, here's what happens. And this is me being honest and transparent with you as to why you don't usually see JRPG playthroughs as daytime content, okay? People like it, but it's a small group. Typically, when I play a JRPG, I struggle to maintain 300 viewers on a stream. Struggle. And that's okay. That's fine. But I need to balance this streaming business with content that will bring butts to seats, as they say, and the people who will engage and support the content. In the case of Baldur's Gate 3, this is not a JRPG. It's a Western-style RPG with turn-based elements, but it's definitely still a Western RPG. It won Game of the Year. So this game has an abnormal amount of hype behind it compared to the other slower-paced turn-based RPGs I would play. And even then, you'll notice that since I started playing the game 2 weeks ago, the attendance and the amount of people watching the playthrough has gone like this. And this is very typical for these kind of RPGs. It's very hard to maintain or retain an ongoing audience, all right? I think Baldur's Gate 3 right now is the exception. This is a game that even every time I play it, we get good attendance, good engagement, and yes, support has actually stayed at a consistently good level as well. But here's the thing. When I play these variety streams, I try to balance the content out so that the streams that need to have the most attendance and or the most people engaging and supporting are the daytime streams. The night streams are primarily meant for games that aren't that important when they're played. It doesn't matter if I play a multiplayer game on a first stream or a late stream. It's the same game either time. You know what I'm saying? An RPG. If I'm going to play a slower turn-based RPG and I know for a fact that it's not going to bring in as much of an audience, having it as a late night chill stream where we can be a little bit more relaxed, have more interaction, not really care so much if it brings in a big audience and or a bunch of support because I already had a daytime stream that did that for me. Then we can have it as a more relaxed, laid-back stream. A game like a Dragon Gaiden, the only reason I'm able to play that game is because we've been balancing that with better daytime streams that bring in more attendance, more engagement, and more support. If I was playing Like a Dragon Gaiden, Sea of Stars, Final Fantasy VI from the Final Fantasy collection, that Pixel remasters from last year, you know what I'm saying? If I was playing all RPGs, this whole business would fail. It would. Now, the thing is, if I had my way, I would love to play a ton of RPGs. I love them. They're some of my favorite games of all time. I keep telling you guys, back in the day, there's other ones like Lost Odyssey. To this day, I keep telling you guys I want to play Lost Odyssey, and I still haven't gotten around to it. One of these days, I swear we're going to play Lost Odyssey. I don't know when it's going to be, but I swear to you we're going to play it. It's one of the games that's kind of on my bucket list at this point. But that's just the deal, all right? I wish that more of my audience liked RPGs like you and I do, because JDTV, I think you and I are of the same mindset. We love these kind of older, you know, not necessarily older, but this style of RPG, right? Sea of Stars is a new game that plays like an old game. That's a good thing. It plays like a classic. That's a very well-received game. But if I play that as a daytime stream, I can tell you right now, attendance is not going to be great, and you're going to end up getting lower engagement, lower support. And then when I play Resident Evil at night, because I'll be honest here again, I'm told that the late night streams get less attendance because of the timing. When I'm playing a stream at 7:15 p.m. my time, all right, on the East Coast of the United States, that's 10:15 p.m. In Europe, that's the wee hours of the morning where most Europeans are asleep. Okay? So it's this stream, the daytime stream, where I can get the biggest audiences. So that's why I usually play the biggest, more highlighted game on the daytime stream. That's why Baldur's Gate 3 is a daytime stream. That's why I'm thinking the survival horror game will be better as a daytime stream. More people will want to see me play that. I understand what you're saying. Oh, play it at night. That doesn't affect anything. My blinds are always closed. I have the same lighting and all of that. The whole idea of play a horror game at night does not hold water in my setup or anything like that. It doesn't matter what time of the day I play a game. It's all the same to me, okay? But for me, that's kind of the deal is I feel like, sadly, RPGs just don't get the love with my audience. Whenever I play an RPG, you'll see half the audience show up. And the other half saying, well, when he plays a more action-paced game, I'll be back, right? I think, again, with Baldur's Gate 3, that's the exception, you know? But I feel like that's what's been happening is these RPGs just don't retain the audience, right? So, anyway, excuse me. That's the deal. Now, you might say, well, why don't you alternate? Why don't you do Resident Evil 0 as a daytime stream, Sea of Stars as a night stream, but then later in the week, Sea of Stars is the daytime stream, and Resident Evil 0 is the night stream? We could do that. I have done that before. The problem with that is, like I just said, what if there's someone who can only attend one or the other stream? Now, you're literally telling them you will never be able to attend every stream of the game you like because I'm alternating time slots, right? That's another thing that I found. Consistency works. If you're going to consistently make a game a daytime stream, you'll get that crowd back every time you stream it on a daytime stream. If you consistently stream a game as a nighttime stream, you'll get that same crowd back every time you stream it as a night stream. But if you're alternating between the two, you end up polarizing and splitting that audience because maybe some people can't watch the late night stream. Maybe some people can't make the day stream because they're at school or work, right? So, you know, I get what you're saying, JDTV, but unless people can, like, convince me, you know what I'm saying, that this would make sense, then I don't know. And there's nothing that I've seen in any kind of convincing way that if I play Sea of Stars as a day stream that it's going to have people show up. Like I said, I always felt like we were looking for a game to replace Like a Dragon Gaiden as the late night chill stream that we know will not get as many views, will not get as much engagement, will not get as much support, and that's okay because we're balancing it with Baldur's Gate 3 and Resident Evil 0 and Street Fighter. Those are games that are going to bring more people, you see? That's my take, okay? All right. Lil Shake and Bake did a super chat asking, did I ever go camping? I want to do it more. I like it and I want to do it more. I've never been camping. I was fishing several times with my father, and I actually really enjoyed relaxing with my dad out in the woods or at a lake, fishing somewhere. But haven't done it since I was a kid, and I have never been officially camping anyway. Nor are we really interested in it. My wife and I are not really into that stuff, so. Okay, now I gotta refresh everything here. Hold on. Refresh. Okay, I received a $20 tip. From 1 Minute Man, he says, when in Underdark, you can climb down to something called Festering Cove. There's all kinds. There's like a crazy boss down there. There's a magical weapon. And apparently there's some kind of a spell of summoning down there from a scroll you can learn. I mean, that's what I was talking about earlier today on the podcast. Like, people are saying Underdark is meant to be challenging, but you get tons of good rewards down there. What if I go down there and I finish Underdark, and then I go back to Goblin Camp and I literally just do this, right? Because I went to Underdark and I got all this shit early, and now I just spank the rest of the game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that's gonna work. I actually don't know if that makes the sense to do. Right now, we've already played 3 hours in Underdark, and we've got a singing sword. I got a bunch of necromancy spells that seem really good that aren't even for my build, but I have them now. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I should leave Underdark and come back to it later. I don't know. What do you guys think? Again, your feedback is key in this playthrough. Do you guys feel that right now we should maybe call it quits with Underdark and then go back after I do the main story stuff? Like, should I go to Goblin Camp and do all that stuff, the Druid stuff and all of that, and then go back to Underdark? Or should I continue with Underdark? Like I said, I'm having fun either way, but I don't want to get myself in a position now where content's not going to be fun anymore. I enjoy the fact that the game's open world. I really do. That's nice. But at the same time, I do feel like for a first-time player like me who has zero intention of going back and playing this again right away, that it does kind of maybe make it a little bit more dangerous. Because what if I stumble upon something that I shouldn't be at, or I end up getting too far in one area, and now next thing you know, you've kind of ruined other parts of the game that were actually quite meaningful if you had done it in a different order, but you don't know that. I'm not spoiling myself, and I'm certainly not planning on doing a second run to do the stuff that I missed, right? So that's what I mean. It's kind of weird because we're exploring Underdark, yet we have no idea why we're down there, right? There's no plot at all. We're just down there fighting things. We have no clue why you would even go down there. There's been no explanation of what it is, why we're under there, right? It just is. It's just a place with a bunch of stuff in it. So maybe if we had a better idea or understanding of why, right? Do we try to figure it out? I don't know. You could still go back and do Underdark after the Goblin stuff. I mean, that's what I figure. Oh, I didn't. Sorry. Wait a minute. JDTV, yes, I did. You tipped $5, correct? No, you tipped $1, correct? And I counted that, did I not? Oh, wait, no, I didn't. You're absolutely right. I didn't. It should be 52. Thank you, JDTV. My fault. You're correct. Okay. Because their Slayer had the dollar tip. That's right. That's right. I should play Octopath Traveler by Square Enix if I like 2D, but modern RPGs, multiple endings look similar to Chrono Trigger. Oh, I know. I missed out on both of those. I missed out on both Octopath Travelers. And the funny part is, that first, the first Octopath Traveler game years ago had tons of hype behind it, and I missed it because I was playing Persona 5 a year later. And everyone, I think Persona 5 took precedence over it at that time because people were dying to see me finish that game. And then I never got around to it, and then the sequel came out earlier this year, and that game just went poof, like this. Like, no one talked about it. No one acted, no one even, it really didn't get traction or any kind of hype in mainstream media like the first one did. I don't know what happened. The first one, like, everyone was talking about it. Everyone was talking about Octopath Traveler 1 as if it was some groundbreaking, amazing retro experience made modernized and everything. I didn't hear anyone really talking about Octopath Traveler 2. It was like a fart in the wind. I don't know what happened. I don't know. So, by the way, Louis Casino, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's claiming that he contributed. There's nothing on the YouTube side, and there's nothing in tips, so I don't know what you mean. How did you contribute? Are you saying that I missed a tip? Are you saying that YouTube didn't count? Because it's not on the YouTube side. I'm staring at my YouTube page right now, and there's nothing. And that's YouTube. That's not even my third party. So you didn't do a super chat. So are you saying that you tipped, and I didn't claim the tip? I didn't call it the tip. Is that what you're saying? If that's the case, I have to check my PayPal. Please clarify in the chat, because I don't understand what you're saying here. You've been spamming the chat for like 20 minutes. Am I ever going to go back to play Divinity 2? Fuck no. Absolutely not. This game, I will say this. This game I like better than Divinity 2. I will say that wholeheartedly. I feel like the game is more polished than Divinity 2. You know, the story's kind of more interesting. I like this game better. Divinity 2 was fine for what it was, but was very kind of a little bit rough around the edges for me, I felt. And definitely, you know, it only had the zoom out style graphics. You never even had like zooming in for cutscenes and stuff. This game, I think, does it a lot better. So this is Divinity 2 fully realized, right, into like a really higher production value game. So it's the better of the two. So I wouldn't go back. Mr. Louis Casino, that's great. You didn't answer the question. He said, oh, I didn't spam. I wanted to let you. You didn't answer the question. What are you saying? Are you saying that you tipped me via PayPal? Are you saying that you did a super chat? I need you to answer the question of what you're talking about that you've been posting in chat repeatedly, so I know what to look at. Paul Cross thinks now would be the perfect time for Stardew Valley or Dave the Diver. Stardew Valley, the whole idea between that kind of a playthrough, like a Disney Dreamlight Valley, a Minecraft, Animal Crossing, a Stardew Valley, is that this is an ongoing game that I'm going to be playing at length. It's going to be known as the stream you come to if you want to relax and talk with me, where the game kind of takes a back seat to our hanging out and having interaction, right? That's really what those games primarily always were. And so in my opinion, am I looking for that right now? No. Why am I not? Because I know at the end of January, there's 2 giant games that are going to take priority and a lot of my time. I also know that in mid to late February, there's multiple games, and then in March, there's multiple games. If this was an open area of like 2-3 months where everything was kind of like, okay, uncertain, not sure what I'm doing, then I'd be like, okay, let's look for a long-term chill game like that. But I don't think adding Stardew Valley in would even do it a service. We might just get into the swing of things of playing it once or twice a week, starting to really get it to be a regular thing, and then I have to drop it because we're playing other big games, you see? So I would say it's a good suggestion, but it's not something that makes sense right now because we have too many new things on the horizon. What I'm looking for right now are games that are fun experiences, digestible experiences, meaning I can play them over January and finish them by the end of January and then jump wholeheartedly into the new games rather than having 12 lingering playthroughs going on because I started games that were way too lengthy and I didn't get to finish them in time. That would be the opposite of what I would want to do. Excuse me. What am I doing with my hands? I don't know what I'm doing right now. Look. Okay. Funniest part is Louis Casino still has not answered my question about how he's contributed, so I'm just going to ignore it from now on. I received a $3 tip. So basically, this person says, and I'm not going to read the entire message because it definitely is kind of like drama bait. But it says, it's funny how people who always criticize me and or people who use me as a way to get popularity for themselves then get incredibly jealous whenever something that I do is working and then copy me. So particularly this person is saying that there is someone out there who has made fun of me regularly, but now because they're watching me play Baldur's Gate 3 and seeing that my playthrough is working, it's highly entertaining, the audience loves it and wants more, now they're going to play Baldur's Gate 3 even though they had absolutely positively no intention whatsoever of ever playing the game until they watched me play it. Yes. That's all I'm going to say. Yes. That kind of stuff happens all the time. That's all I will say. Shout out to Cypress for 17 months as a member. Well wishes. Sorry I've been silent. I wish you a happy 2024. Thank you very much to Cypress. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the support. Okay. That same logic applied to me in the Game Awards. Absolutely incorrect, BITW Awesome. You're deaf. Because all year, I literally said, if people really want me to play Baldur's Gate 3, I will play it when it makes sense, when it fits in the schedule. When did it fit into the schedule? This month, when we finished up all the other playthroughs from the fall. It didn't make sense to play an insanely long RPG right at the beginning of 4 months of straight non-stop new releases. So you are absolutely, positively wrong. Wrong. Okay. Let's continue. And I never said that, but Witcher, enjoy your permanent ban. Love it. Love it. Anything else, guys? We are near the end of the podcast, for the record. We're at the end of the podcast. I didn't even mention anything when it came to contributions today. So let me just very briefly mention this. Goal for today is to hit 700 members by the end of the day. We had over 720 members the other day, and then Christmas happened because I wasn't here, and we lost a bunch and haven't gotten any back. It would be great if today we could get a little bit of a rallying. If you like my content, if you could support it and become a member or give some memberships today, that would be superb. The other thing is to hit the goal of tips every stream. Now, we've already hit the tier 1 tips goal, which is stupendous. If you want to see some rewards today, that would be great. Okay? That would be great if we could have some, hit a tips goal of like the hat or a vest. Today, if you wanted to vote on a hat or a vest, yes, we would do that today. Rather than just being the holiday hat every day. Instead, today we could vote on a different hat if you would like to do that. It's been a while since we did that. That's if we get $100, $150, a vest. I haven't worn a vest in quite some time. And yes, I could wear a vest over a flannel shirt. That would be fine. So please consider contributing today. Thanks in advance to anyone who supports my content. Reminder, this is my income. That's it. You know, there is ad revenue on YouTube, absolutely. It's not giant or anything like it used to be, and I don't have anything else. No product placements, no sponsorships, no partnerships, no shilling. It's literally, this is the income, so if you could support the stream today, thank you in advance. Okay. So Louis is saying there was a tip. All right, now you're saying, what was it, a $2 tip? All right, I'm going to look for it. Here we go. Ready? Here we go. We're going spelunking. We're going tip spelunking. Let's see. All right, so there's that one there. Could this be it here? Yes. So, Mr. Louis Casino did tip me $2 this morning. I don't know why I didn't get the email for it. This has been happening for some odd reason. Every once in a while, I'm not getting one of these emails, and I don't know why. So I'm going to have to look into that. I don't know how I could fix it, because when I look in my spam folder, the emails are not going to my spam folder. It's just that, for some reason, PayPal is not sending out all of the notifications for me. Maybe it's just a problem with their interface. Their email interface isn't working properly. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So Mr. Louis Casino tipped me $2 and says the following. Crap, I just misclicked. That's what he said. No, he didn't say that. He said the following. Any advice for dealing with anger issues? I'm afraid one day I'll lose it on someone and get in trouble with the law. Listen. For me, my anger issues come from various different reasons, okay? I am definitely way less angry today of an individual than I used to be. I used to be way more of an angry individual when I was younger. But over the years, I've kind of mellowed out and learned not to be so upset about everything around me anymore, which is obviously a great thing. And I'm constantly getting better at it, right? If you have anger issues, really, you got to ask yourself why. What are you getting so angry about? Is there a determining reason behind that? And analyze that. And if you can't figure it out for yourself of what exactly is causing it, right, then you got to seek professional help. Because there are many people out there who should be able to help you with that, figure it out, right? And it's not going to be a YouTuber who's going to be able to help you out with that. It's going to be someone who actually has training, you know, and be able to analyze deep down what's going on in your psyche. I don't know what's going on in your psyche. You know, I can't help you with that. So I would recommend if it really is an ongoing issue for you and you can't figure it out for yourself, don't be afraid to seek help. Help is out there, and it's not looked down upon for you to seek that kind of help anymore. At one point it was. Like, literally, there's this weird thing in society that, like, if you seek out medical attention, if you seek out psychiatric attention, if you just seek out, oh, you can't just figure that out for yourself, what are you, some kind of a wimp? But that's not the case anymore. You know, now, if you're really having these issues and things aren't aren't fixing or going away for yourself, you can't adjust it, then you should. You should not be afraid to go out there and talk to someone about it. All right? Cool? Okay. Lucky Gremlin has dropped a whopping 20-member bomb on the channel. 2-0. So congratulations to the following people. We've got Hybrid, Clamp Cut Tie, The Drew Corporation, People Person, Ryan, Paul Cross, Bloody Mary, Mint, J Pep, Dank Spectre, Jeff, Aaron is Buddha, Arctic Sphinx, Mick Voles, Big Ocho, Mishael 23S, Project Hail Mary, Mango Pimp, and Raymond Stores, who all just received a gifted membership. So congratulations to all of you. Be sure to thank Lucky Gremlin for that support. Be grateful. And let me double check because I want to see exactly how many members we're at now. As I update the leaderboard, I want to be accurate, okay? We are currently at 703 members. So my tally was actually correct up to this point. Very nice. So with that, I'm going to remove the member goal for the day. If we get any more members for today, that would be absolutely amazing. But I'm not going to ask for any more. That is a lot. Thank you so much, Lucky Gremlin, for that support. That is really nice of you. Okay. I've also received a $10 tip from Carliga. Thank you for hearing my feedback about PT rotation on streams. I'm from Europe, and when you swap slots, I usually stop watching a playthrough due to that. There you go. You see that? Here's someone who outright is saying, if you swap rotation of a playthrough and I can't watch it all, I'll stop watching it. And that's what I mean. Like, that's why I usually would not rotate a game and do one time a day stream, one time a night stream, then a night stream, then a day stream, because that would actually aggravate people who can't attend every stream. You see that? Number 2, stick with regular Baldur's Gate 3 content above ground, please. I'm not going to play the game myself. I want you to experience the whole game properly in a good pacing. Number 3, tell us the printer model. I will try finding you the original Windows 7, 8 OCR scanner software and link it via email. The good news is it works now. That's the good news. Like, it scans through the printer. All I got to do is tell it scan, and it does it, and it saves it, and the quality's good. And I actually have the ability in the printer to either do color or black. Like, I can do that through the printer's command interface, whatever it's called, on the little screen that it has or whatever. And the printing is fine. Like, the printing is so simple. Anything you go to print has all kinds of options. You can even select DPI and, you know, you can do all that shit. So everything's fine with the printer right now. If I do have issues with it, I'll let you know. But for now, I think I'm good. I think I figured it out. Number 4, your browser contains a cookie or session info for every site. When you hit such issues like a YouTube upload, it's good to practice to clear those cookies out. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe for some odd reason, there was a weird interface issue between YouTube and the browser, and it wouldn't accept any uploads at all. And I had to completely refresh the browser, and then it fixed it. You're probably correct. And by the way, shout out to X Shooter, who re-upped their membership for 19 months as a supporter here. Phil, hope you had a great Christmas. Indeed, I did. Thank you very much, X Shooter. All right, guys. It is now time for us to wrap up the show. It is a shorter one because I started late, but it's time to wrap it up. I want to thank you all. When I return to you all, it will be Friday. I will likely have some stuff to talk with you about in regards to my day off tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have some news and other events and things to discuss on Friday's show. It should be fun, a good time. And I hope you all have a safe and fun Thursday without me. You can get caught up on all the holiday content that I put out because, man, between that marathon and the playthroughs and everything going on, there was quite a lot to check out on the channels. Please do. And I wish you all the best. Happy holidays. I will see you all Friday as we do it all again for the final week of 2023. Thank you all and see you then.